trans activists attack the police, and then somehow it's the women's rights activists who were nowhere near this incident who got blamed for it. I mean, I was poking a little bit of fun at the ladies in the last video I did, but this time I'm going into bat for them. When are journalists going to start being journalists, investigating and reporting facts? This here from 7 News Melbourne. Protest mayhem has returned to Melbourne with a rally over women's rights descending into chaos in the city streets. Opposing groups clashed, with police caught in the crossfire as officers used pepper spray to keep the peace. Lies. From the Herald Sun, violence has erupted at a rally in the CBD with police deploying pepper spray on a crowd of 200 women's rights activists and pro-trans supporters facing off on Spring Street. Lies. And more of the same from 10 News. A protest on the steps of Victorian Parliament has turned violent, with police using pepper spray to control clashes between trans exclusionary radical feminists and pro-trans counter protesters. I mean, it's not just lies, but it's misrepresenting these women and what they stand for. It's reframing the truth to manipulate the opinions of the masses who are not in attendance. And in my opinion, this is all by design. These journalists are knowingly reframing this. I mean, all of these different newspapers and TV channels with the same incorrect headlines. For those who aren't aware, this was a Women Will Speak rally in Melbourne, which often gets wrongly labelled as an anti-trans rally by the disingenuous media. One of these Herald Sun reporters labelled all of the women as far right. It's the usual mudflinging by controlled journalists who are unable to think for themselves. Reagan Hodge. What a soulless piece of shit. What a worthless coward. He will write whatever his bosses tell him to write. These women aren't anti-trans or far right. They simply are sick of their own identity as women being cheapened and redefined by men posing as women. They're against men invading areas of life that should be reserved for women, like women's sports. They naturally don't want men competing in women's sports. I mean, it seems reasonable to me, and they've got good reason to celebrate at the moment with the recent UK Supreme Court ruling that says a woman is defined by biological sex, not whatever you choose to identify as when you wake up in the morning. Basically, just because you wear a nice dress and smear on some lipstick and chop off your nuts and pump yourself full of hormones, that does not make you a woman. I went to this rally on Saturday. Well, actually, the police wouldn't let me in, so they must have thought I was trans. So I had to stand amongst all the trans kids and the Antifa agitators who had assembled, a real dodgy bunch, and they were starting fights between themselves earlier on in that day. The women all left the area after their rally ended. I hung around for half an hour to watch the trans brigade shouting abuse at the cops before I then headed home. Your kids hate you. Your kids hate you. No borders, no nation. 30 minutes after that, I get a mate texting me saying that he just saw them all kicking off with police and each other down on Burke Street. All of these journalists got it completely wrong. There wasn't clashes between the two groups. The women are not far right. The Antifa and trans kids were fighting amongst themselves and fighting the cops. They were clearly all up for a fight from the start of the day, waving their big banners saying "Queers kill cops." Some of them put up posters urging protesters to throw bricks at the police. Many of them were hiding their identity with face masks and hoods, and some even had gloves on. She's got "Live, Laugh, Love" on an Antifa t-shirt. I mean, that right there is some sort of Orwellian War is Peace type doublethink slogan if I ever saw one. Some tranny love is love, and as I said, plenty of guys masked up from the start, hiding their identity and with gloves on. You think these are all peaceful protesters? Nah. These are people who came to intimidate women. To be honest, a lot of them didn't really look like they'd have much of a fight in them. There was the sorts who would wait till the fight starts, run in and kick someone when they're down and run away again. Very dodgy looking lads. I certainly would not trust them. Some of them, they're really just LARPing as revolutionaries. They're not that serious, I don't think. But like I said, there was definitely some in the crowd who were definitely a bit more serious about it, and I could see them being the ones that were kicking off later. I did notice when I looked back at some of the photos I took that some of them were looking directly at me when I had my camera out. So, but none of them came up and spoke to me. I would have had a conversation. There's another one who he must have loved the look of me or something. I mean, but he never had the balls to come and ask for my phone number. Probably because he doesn't have the balls anymore. And another one. Ooh, scary. Very odd alliance between this Muslim girl and the trans community. She was there giving out earplugs. I do sympathise a little bit with these kids. I mean, many of them were just probably a little bit unpopular at school. We had that in my day as well. What did I do? I grew my hair long and I dyed one half of it blonde. Just, I was really just looking to wind up the teachers and get some attention. But these days, it's become fashionable for the low status kids to make irreversible alterations to their body, and they are rewarded with immediate attention and applause. So I can see how that would be tempting to an unpopular kid. Many of them just look broken and sick, and they're being used. They're guinea pigs in some twisted lab experiment being pushed by whatever hidden hand plants these ideas into the teachers and academics and doctors and politicians who are promoting it all onto the children. The kids end up embracing the ideology to such an extent that they become soldiers who will fight against common sense, all while believing they are full of virtue and love. It's very twisted. Because of this awful reporting across both the left and the right-wing media, the average citizen who wasn't there believes that cops got assaulted and hurt because of the women's rally attendees, and that those women were part of the rioting in the city. No mainstream reporter would dare label what happened as far left rioting. These journalists have no integrity, no soul. They're a bunch of lying bastards who will say anything just to get their next mortgage payment. And the trans kids, well, I think Angie Jones summed them up perfectly.
They are rabid, they are insane.